Let's get back to a lighter side. I got my Santa hat on. We got Santa fishing over here. We got the tree in the back too, man.
Yeah, there you go. There's a wreath. You guys can't see it, but there's a wreath right opposite of me.
We're in the spirit, man.
Yeah.
We are in the spirit, and what better way to name our top Christmas movies?
There we go. I mean, I got my Christmas present I gave to myself. Thank you very much for that. Go to the Fanatics link. You'll hear about it a little bit later in the episode, but I got this. It's a Tommy Hilfiger pullover.
That's Tommy Hill. I didn't know Tommy Hilfiger did football stuff. So
it's some sort of partnership that they had, but this is a really nice sweatshirt that I got for like $50 because they have promo codes running all the time.
Of course, and I got my Drew Lock jersey that I got Fanatics too. Yeah, he had a good game, so I'm going to give him a little bit of love. I have the 30 Philip Lindsay blue one, and I have a Drew Lock one, so no, it's not a repeat. Don't come at me like that. It's not a repeat.
I didn't repeat.
Well, let's start. We have very, very, very similar lists.
Yeah, we have a pretty easy taste in movies, I think.
So I'll start with my top four, and then I'll let you tell me what your top four is, but I'm going to go in order. So 1, 2, 3, 4 in this order, okay? So number 1, Easy Christmas Vacation. National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation. Every single time this time of the year, I have to turn it on because it's always good laughs. Always good laughs.
Cheap lying, no good riding. Yeah.
Yeah.
You get a subscription to the Jelly of the Month Club for that.
Exactly. Number 2, Home Alone. Home Alone is always a classic, man.
The first one or the second one?
I like both of them, but I'm going to go the first one just because it's the original. I like the originals. That's the same with me and the Mighty Ducks. Okay. I'm an original type of guy. So I like 1 just because the nostalgia to it, but I think 2 is more of a Christmas movie necessarily, but either way, they're all great movies. So Home Alone's there. Number 3, I have The Grinch just because it's classic. It's an absolute classic, and you can't go month of December without watching that movie.
Yeah.
You just can't do that. And then finally, one of my favorite childhood movies, and that's Elf. Elf with Will. I love all Will Ferrell movies, man. Elf is in my opinion, one of Will Ferrell's best movies. It's not one of the funniest because he has some really raunchy movies that are hilarious. Yeah. But Elf is one of the most kid-friendly, fun, loving family movies, especially during Christmas time, in my opinion.
Yeah, it's funny you bring up Elf because I just watched Wedding Crashers over the weekend, and seeing Will Ferrell in Wedding Crashers and then thinking about him as Buddy the Elf. That's a little bit interesting. I looked up this morning when we were talking about doing this, the top list of Christmas movies ranked in order. So I have all of the rankings for the movies that you picked. Home Alone is ranked 51st of all time. So
that's
a little bit low. Not a lot of love shown to Kevin McAllister, Macaulay Culkin. There you go. Shout out Macaulay Culkin. I didn't think that we'd ever get a reference to him on this podcast. National Lampoon's Vacation is 55th all time.
That's just ridiculous.
I don't agree with that one. Grinch is 6th, but I think they're talking about the cartoon Grinch, not the Jim Carrey one. So I don't know.
You can't go wrong either way. It's the Grinch, but I like the live action. So
I'm not gonna tell you you had your Elf as the last one. Elf is 31st of all time.
Elf is a great movie, but it should not be above Christmas Vacation.
I
could argue over Home Alone, but not over Christmas Vacation.
Yeah, I think that's probably fair. I'll go my top 4 because we do have one that's different, and that's where we might have to put out another poll to see who agrees with who. It's a little bit out there for me because especially I'm not a part of the generation that this movie came out, but Scrooged with Bill Murray. It's the Tale of Ghost of Christmas Past story, the Scrooge McDuck story. But it's Bill Murray as a TV executive, and Bill Murray in the 80s, you can't go wrong with any of his movies. Caddyshack, Ghostbusters, Stripes. I love Stripes, but I'm also I'm a product of my parents, just not changing their movie taste. That's why I love Christmas Vacation too.
No, I don't hate that at all. Bill Murray is one of my favorite actors too, man. He has so many classic movies.
And we didn't give him any love during Halloween. We didn't give him any love in Zombieland. He's the best part of that movie. I don't necessarily care for that movie, but him in it is pretty fun.
I don't hate Zombieland. I love Woody Harrelson. So that's why I don't hate it. So
I just don't like Jesse Eisenberg. So that's probably
you just don't.
He ruins a lot of movies that I try to like. Like Justice League.
Okay, that we'll not talk about that. That's just a tough movie.
We'll talk about superhero movies at some other point. But there's our top Christmas movies. Tell us whether you agree with Nico's list with Elf or my list with Scrooge, because that's the only place where we differ. But I think I love Christmas movies.
You can't go wrong at all with any of these.
Shout out honorable mention to the Santa Claus series because Santa Claus is a lot of fun to watch. And then I put on mine Home Alone 2. I'll just count that we have the same one because Home Alone. But the living at the Plaza Hotel and having a large cheese pizza just to myself in the back of a limo was one of my dreams for a long time growing up. A lot longer than I care to admit.
Yeah, the one honorable mention I'll have too is the Donald Duck's Mr. Scrooge.
Yeah.
The cartoon thing, I always love watching that, and like Mickey's 25 Days of Christmas or whatever. I love watching that as a kid, and so I'll probably throw it on coming days. So
we just have to mention the Rudolph, the claymation old one.
Yeah.
Neither of us had it on our list, but it is. I do throw it on every now and then when it's on because it's a classic. You gotta watch it once a year.
Yeah, right now. Unfortunately, it's one of those movies where it's kind of in the background because there's been so many remakes, but it's an all-time classic for sure.
Yeah, I love the old school claymation animation that they did. Now let's get into some sports because we had a big sports weekend. Couple conference championships are set in college.